Welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, I'm in Marineverse Sailing Club. I've got a couple of browser windows open, which I'll explain in a moment. But yeah, I felt like it's worth updating you guys on this because there's been a really big addition to this game, which I followed from the beginning. So Greg, the developer, and the team have added this global mode, and this has brought me back into the game almost every day. And if it's not brought me in VR, I'm able to use my mobile phone or a browser and continue to sail. There's a couple of other things that have been updated recently. So as you can probably see here, it's just switched to my hand tracking. And I don't think this was always the case, but you can basically sail the boat completely without controllers just now, which for me is really cool. It's less friction, there's less between me and the feeling of sailing somewhere. Now, the big news is this globe mode has been in beta for a while. I think you can only access it if you are a Sailing Pass member, so if you pay in Greg's Patreon. But yeah, as you can see, there's scenery now of the whole world. There's waves in here based on real weather conditions. This is the time of day in Norway where I am. And I'm on this boat, which is called Uma, I believe. It's from a couple of YouTubers. You can get the whole history on it. It's quite a small boat, like 32, I think, even maybe 34. And yeah, you are now able to sail anywhere in the world in this really neat kind of persistent mode. So you can see here on the map that I'm sailing around here, and I've got some waypoints in. It's probably hard to read this on the recording. So I've plotted a little route here, and you can see all these little dots here are navigation lights or beacons, which are coming from, I guess, OpenStreetMap. So you can actually see over there, there's a red light, the white flashing light. So the frequency, again, I'm assuming is coming from OpenSeaMap. So that will be that white light over there. And there's a red light directly behind it, which you can see just to the left of the white light. So I stand up a bit to see it a bit better. So fast flashing white light, and then a slow flashing red light just off to the left. That's behind it. And then this light on the coast. And I can tell all that from this chart here. Yeah, the real weather conditions as far as I can tell. So what's that, 8.2 knots wind, it's freshening. And there's some terrain here which must come from, I guess, OpenStreetMap as well. But they've somehow magically generated the whole world here. So you actually can sail through the landscape. The shore looks a bit funny when you come up close. I think that's because there's no easy way to automatically generate all the coastline. So it just kind of stops quite abruptly. And you notice that when there's small rocks, what would be rocks in real life, they tend to be just kind of square slabs. But this is pretty cool. And as you can see, the waves have just stopped here. So probably because I've come into the shelter of this inlet here, or the wind is dropping. Not really, but that's quite nice. And yeah, this sailing mode is awesome. So I'm going to just use the browser, big wave, come on, to show you a little bit more about that. So, of course, I can continue by clicking the game world. I've got Windy open here, which looks amazingly 3D in this browser. And this is my real-time weather. So I am just off, just rounded this coastline here. So you can see that, if I close that, you can see I've just rounded this coastline here. So actually the boat was sailing automatically during the night on this course. It changed courses a couple of times. I'm not too sure if that was probably just the wind pushing me. You don't change your sails when you're when you're not there. So the wind has probably just pushed me off course because of the way I had my sails set. And I landed up here. Luckily, you don't crash onto rocks. The boat just stops. So this was during the middle of the night. Then today I put the headset on and I sailed, navigated around this corner here. And now I can actually plot the route here better. If I can get the zoom level right. So this is just the website. This is an email you get with this link every day. And now I can say, well, oh, let's start that again. So there's a big bridge. Yep. And my goal is to get to Ålesund, which is a port. It's recognized as a port here. And that's the port on that side. And when you're in Ålesund, you can teleport your ship. You can see there once a month, sailing pass required. And that means I can move it to the west of Scotland. But I've actually sailed since I discovered this feature. I was in the middle of Greenland. So I guess my boat had just sailed up here. And I took over control, sailed it across to Svalbard, actually. There's icebergs up there, I confirm. And then I sailed it down, towards Ålesund. It's a place I know. And yeah, I feel like I've got control of it. I can do this on my mobile phone. You can change your heading. So this is how it works. So you just change your heading on the browser without having the headset. And then when you wake up in the morning, hopefully your boat's in the right place. So that's how the interaction with the web page works. And yeah, the rest you do, you come into the boat, you set your sails, you can reef the main, you can reef the jib as well. There's a reefing for the jib. And if I teleport over here, there's the reefing for the main. And if you don't do that, as I said, you will get pushed off course, you'll lose steering. So there's another bit of land just loaded in. So there's quite a heavy load, of course, because it's mobile headset. But it's pretty good because you do see these headlands, you do see these landscapes in the distance, and you've got a good idea where you are. So I'm going to go to the west of Scotland because I know that area, and I'll tell you how it is. But I've got to get to Ålesund first by sailing a little bit down the fjords. I'm not too sure what Greg's got planned, but multiplayer would be cool just for socializing. My dream was always to sail with my regatta crew and to practice like this. A couple of them have actually got headsets these days, so you never know. But this is the coolest update by far for this amazing app that just keeps giving. And for me, at least, if Greg's listening, this has brought me back into the game. At least, interacting with the game, and it makes me, want to pay my sailing pass for another year, because that little game there is just cool. Real-time weather, that's enough, and the whole planet. It's what I was dreaming for from a boat simulator forever. So yeah, that is Marineverse Cup, the global mode. It's absolutely awesome, and you can do world exploring. And I think these navigation things, being in the correct position, is a really good training tool. I've entered Concarneau Harbour in Brittany at night time, which doesn't have lit cardinals, and it does have a lot of rocks. And I can tell you that you need to know what this looks like in the pitch black. I did have a GPS on, but you need to know where these things are in relation to everything else. It will give you very good foresight if you're able to train in VR before going into a real life situation. Oh, the other thing is, there's a complete interior of this sailing yacht Uma. You can actually lie in the bed. It's a bit tricky. Teleport up there. And then of course you'd be lying down in here. Doesn't seem to work too well. No, I've come outside. I found a bug, Greg. Luckily you can go outside. Take it back in because the interior is awesome as well. So the boat, I like it. It's small, it's compact, it's got everything you need. So here's your little kitchen here. Nice optimized textures. Looks like the kids have been drawing here. It's made for sitting, I would say. It's not even a full standing headroom saloon, but it's a bit similar to my boat, a bit bigger than my 27-foot boat. But yeah, there's a couple of that's another berth there actually. There's a couple of kind of slight bugs. Let me just go back here. I found it hard to use this tool with a controller, so there's a kind of bug when every time I click on it, it zooms in. You can use the joysticks. So just passing a harbour on the left hand side there, that looks like a marina. Maybe you can have a look to see what that's like. So every time I drag like this, it zooms in case you're watching. But yeah, the idea is you can do your so I'm not touching anything. So the idea is you can, okay, and bugs, I just put that on top and it seems to zoom in that. But the idea would be you can come in here, plot your route, and then, you know, go and sail it outside. I guess an autopilot would be a really good next feature. I mean, the boat does stick to the heading that you put it on, so from that point of view it's easy. But some kind of auto sail, autopilot when you're not, you know, in VR might be useful. A couple of other features there. So today 2 miles, it's just the 2 miles I've sailed around the corner. Total 4,300. It's been since a while. These instruments here give you a little bit more information. No, I think they're on the racing maps as well. And yeah, maybe just to show you that hand tracking feature again. So put the controllers down. Takes a couple of seconds and picks up your hands. And yeah, you can do full sailing here. I'm sitting down, so if I stand up, that is probably quite a realistic feeling for being on this boat. And you can, I find it hard to grab them in. So main I couldn't grab, and you can grab there this winch handle, so you see it actually does go yellow. The same with that one, this was just a bit tricky to grab. But otherwise, I think non-controller sailing would be pretty cool. But an amazing update, and I really, really feel like I'm sailing along with these waves. Awake, see several people have commented on the wake. It helps you understand how fast you're going. Would help, but otherwise, this has changed the game. So check it out. It's in beta version. I think you have to apply for it. You'll see it in the game. If not, go to the Discord for Marineverse Cup and you'll find out. That's all for now. Thanks very much.